Hello, Phobos here. I decided to record something this time instead of just showing raw DVRs. I decided to show you how I built my favorite whoops. To do that I use those components that you can see here. First of all, we are using Mobeetle6 by Happymodel. I think right now it's the best choice. Why? Because first of all I like Express ELRS. Second of all, this one is very light and the weight actually helps with withstanding the crashes a little bit better. For the frame I'm using Meteor frame, it's slightly modified. I have chamfered those smaller holes here. I like it because the screws are not protruding and when you hit something you actually don't have a risk of splitting the bell, which is really nice. Then I kind of cut this post a little bit. It actually makes more space for the wires to go through, and I drilled a small hole here to hold my Express ELRS antenna. We are using a monopole, which in my tests has better range than ceramic, and there is no weight penalty, so I like to run that one. And yes, for the pigtail we're using BT2 pigtail. I think it's 5 centimeters long, yeah, about 5 centimeters. I'm going to shorten the ground wire. I'll show you later when we are going to solder it to the drone Y. Then I'm running Gemfan 3-blade props. They're also slightly modified. The hubs are drilled a little bit more in order for the props to sit a little bit lower on the motor bells, so yeah, that actually reduces the risk of bending the shaft. Then we have some screws. We have plastic screws for the motors and some regular screws for the FC. We have my favorite canopy in TPU, flexible material, 30 degrees I think, or 35 degrees angle, and we are running my favorite camera, which is the new Pinch. It has very wide field of view, which I like. It allows me to start turning a little bit quicker and see the obstacles better. And yeah, that's about it. So let's do it. Okay, first step will be to disassemble the quad, of course. I'll start off by taking the stuck screws. Next we disconnect the camera and remove the motor screws. Now we can push the stack. Done. Don't forget to remove the gummies. Next step, we remove the props. To do that I like to use two sharp knives and simply pry from both sides with the same amount of force. But you need to be careful not to put the knife between the bell and the C-clip, because that will be really bad. So you need to make sure that it is above the C-clip. Next step is desoldering the old pigtail and soldering a new one. So yeah, let's take care of it. It's the only step that requires soldering. I have my solder set to 350 degrees. Alright. There you go. Now to solder a new pigtail, first we'll shorten it. This is plus, this is minus, and the pigtail will go this way. So what we need to do is we need to shorten the ground by about 6 millimeters. I exposed only the bare minimum. This way you're never going to short it with something. Now we tin the wires. To do that First, I like to add some flux. First, I'm going to add more solder to the plus pad. Yeah, should be good enough. So now the fun part. Let's build the thing together. We start by inserting the flight controller in. So yeah, first we thread the power cord and we try to fit the motors through those holes. Then what we need to do is we need to of course attach the gummies. As you can see, that's why I cut a small piece of plastic here. It allows the wires to actually go a little bit easier without any pinching. So now we thread this through. I like to do it because it kind of saves the FC from pulling the power cord. Pulling it doesn't pull on the actual traces on the flight controller. And then let me grab a tool. We have to do two things. First, we have to attach our camera. We can attach it first to the canopy and then we can attach it. I usually run the wires like so, and I like to twist the wires. Now, another trick for this particular canopy is I'm putting the cables through this small ridge. And then, of course, we thread our antenna. What I like to do now is I like to glue this thing to the flight controller, because sometimes the plug is actually vibrating loose and sometimes you may lose vision during a race, which is not that great. And I like to glue this antenna here as well. Also this antenna, we will glue it like this. Sometimes the antenna can vibrate and break here or here, so it's always good to glue it to something. We are using E6000, I think it's really good. The last step is to basically screw everything together and attach the props. For the camera, one little trick also is I like to put a little bit of double-sided tape here. That actually helps me with attaching the camera and then provides a little bit of a cushion in case I crash really hard. The diamond likes to pop out here, so by adding those I'm basically preventing this from happening. What I like to do is I like to twist the motor wires as hard as I can. That also helps with vibrations. Okay, time for the props. I never force the props really hard. I always first check if it goes nice. If it doesn't, then I pull it. I have my spare motor here, and yeah, I try to wiggle it in. If it doesn't work, then I kind of go back and forth with a drill to make sure it fits. This is a 0.95mm drill. Done. Let's measure some weight, shall we? .6 with a tiny pinch. Not that bad. Okay, I think that will conclude the video. Thanks for watching till the end. For more build or tuning related tips, please go and watch Angry Dawn's channel. I think it's the best channel out there. If you have any more questions or suggestions, please leave them down below in the comment section, and yeah, thanks for watching. Bye bye.